everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning Melodies. I'm Mike Baker and I'm coming to you from Goulburn, New South Wales. I'm coming to you with the help and in association with Hume Conservatorium. Those of you who were tuned in last week and the last couple of weeks, I guess you've already got to know me and what I do. I'm sitting here behind a piano and I'm going to play some just nice music to start your week. There'll be a little bit of music to listen to, music to sing along to if you like, music to hum along to, what else? Music to tap your foot to, just a little bit of a song and a tune to get your week started actually, because it's nice to start the week with a song in your heart. So I'm coming to you, as I said, from Goulburn. It's about an hour from Canberra and we're about 2 hours from the Big Smoke in Sydney. And today I'm looking outside. It's a bit of an overcast day, and if it's overcast where you are and a little bit drizzly and cold, how nice is it to be inside, enjoying being warm and snuggly and maybe a cup of tea. Is this a good time, 10:30 in the morning? I think that's a good time for a cup of tea. So I need to say hello to some regulars. I'm going to send out a call to the Cherrybrook Christian Living Centre in Sydney. They were in touch with me a couple of weeks ago, said they were enjoying the show. And here in Goulburn, one of our regular viewers, Wilma Gerrithy. Wilma's had a little bit of a hospital stay, and she was well taken care of here at Goulburn Base Hospital. In fact, I don't know whether she really wanted to come home in such a hurry. She tells me that some of those doctors up there are pretty good sorts. Am I right, Wilma? I think I might be. I'm doing a lot of talking, I know. Let's start off some music with a little bit of Errol Garner's 1952 hit, The Beautiful Misty. Piece of music. Errol Garner's Misty. Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. I don't know if that's something that's there in your memory banks, but from the first time I heard that piece of music, I knew I was going to be playing it for a while. As long as I guess I can get some life into these keys, I'm going to find somewhere to play that beautiful song, Misty. Right, well, I'm going to also send out a hello to the helpful people at Hume Conservatorium who've come on board to make sure that the Monday Morning Melodies goes out to a lot of people in a lot of different situations. If you're in one of the aged care facilities around, doesn't have to be in Goulburn, around town, we're reaching out to you with a bit of music on Monday mornings. So can I say hello especially to Paul Scott Williams, to Danae and to Peter. Here, they keep this place running and they sure make life easier for me. Those of you who know me might know that I have piano students and I have saxophone students, and I do that down at the Hume Conservatorium. Do you know the old building? You might be able to see it behind me. Those of you who are Goulburn residents, you'll know Verner Street. You know the Verner Street Hill? That's where we are, right down on the bottom of the Verner Street Hill where it meets Burke Street. And we're in the old technical, what used to be called the Old Tech. Now it's the Conservatorium of Music. Hume Conservatorium is what we're called, and Hume Conservatorium services a very big area. Enough talk from me. Let's have a little bit of music. I'm thinking that we might just even have a little bit of a boogie to get us going this morning. Let's get the blood flowing. I like to do a little bit of a walking boogie. That's a walking boogie. And a while ago I discovered that you can put Glenn Miller's hit from the late 30s called In the Mood. You can put that into the right hand, and I call this a walking boogie, but more correctly the melody that's going to be in the right hand is Glenn Miller's In the Mood. Let's have a little bit of a groove onto that this morning. On a Monday. Got that foot tapping. Head swinging. Walking boogie there. Hope that got your toes a tapping wherever you are. Maybe you're at home. Maybe you're in the kitchen doing a little bit of a sachet around the refrigerator. Maybe you're in bed or you're in hospital and you've got your feet up and maybe the head's the best we can do for a little bit of bopping along. That's always a good way to do a little bit of a bop along too, I find. Just to get the head moving, and it brings a lot of the rest of the body with it, doesn't it? Okay, that was Glenn Miller's In the Mood, done with a bit of a walking boogie bass. Okay, let's have one that you could maybe you'll know some of this. This is a John Denver song. I believe Peter, Paul and Mary had a hit with it. And it's about a loved one going away on a plane. All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door already. I'm so lonesome I could cry, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The taxi's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Hate to wake you up to say goodbye. You know this bit? So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I've let you down. So many times I played around. Tell you now, they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, I'll think of you. Every song I sing, I'll sing for you. When I come back, I'll bring your wedding ring. Sing with me. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. Now the time has come, I'm leaving you. Just one time, let me kiss you. Then close your eyes, I'll be on my way. You can dream about the days to come, when I won't have to leave alone. About the times when I won't have to say, well, I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. So kiss me, sing this bit with me. Kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. John Denver song, that one. A hit for Peter, Paul and Mary. And they had a lot of hits, didn't they? What was another one? If I Had a Hammer. Might dig that one up for a future week, perhaps. A little bit more Peter, Paul and Mary. Puff the Magic Dragon. That was a Peter, Paul and Mary hit. I think they might have even done Blowing in the Wind, a Bob Dylan song. They were responsible for popularising a few of Bob Dylan's songs. So I hope you enjoyed that one. That was John Denver's Leaving on a Jet Plane. from back in the 1970s. What's that, 1970s? I reckon that's probably over 40 years ago now, if I do my maths correctly. Still a beautiful song. Okay, let's keep it going. That was a little bit laid back, but on Monday mornings we like to get a bit of movement going on, so what about this one? This is about the place where all the great stuff happens. Where does that happen? Behind the green door, of course. Well, midnight, one more night without sleeping. Well, watching till that morning comes creeping. Green door, what's that secret you're keeping? Now there's an old piano and they're playing hot behind the green door. Don't know what they're doing, but they laugh a lot behind the green door. I wish they'd let me in so I could find out what's behind the green door. Well, I knocked once, tried to tell them I'd been there, and door slammed, hospitality's thin there. I'll wonder now just what's going on in there. I saw an eyeball peeping through a smoky cloud behind the green door. And when I said Joe sent me, someone laughed out loud behind the green door. All I wanted to do was join that happy crowd behind the green door. And who wouldn't? Sounds like fun. To tell them I'd been there, but the door slammed, hospitality's thin there. Oh, wonder just what's going on in there. I saw an eyeball peeping through a smoky cloud behind the green door. When I said Joe sent me, someone laughed out loud behind the green door. Wish they let me in so I could find out what's behind the green door. Green door, green door. Oh, what's behind that green door? One day I'm gonna find out. Wish they let me in so I could find out what's behind the green door. What a classic. The old green door, eh? I reckon that's a place I'd like to visit. I'd like to know what's going on behind there. I wouldn't mind hanging out with all that crowd behind the green door. That sounds pretty good to me. Anyway, now, some of you who were here last week too, you're probably pretty aware that I introduced you to this old chestnut of a book. I hope that hasn't got light shining on it, that you can see it nicely. This is the Alberts. 1001. I used to do a lot of playing in restaurants back in the day, and I always had this book with me. Not so much this book, but I had, it says 1001 songs in here. Well, I had 10 little volumes of it, and they made up 100 songs in each. What's that, 10 times 100? That makes 1,000. 1001 songs. And I would just sometimes open the book anywhere and just find a song that I wanted to play. So what I did the week before last was I just started at the A's, and we played some of the great old songs from the A's, and we've come a little bit up into the B's now. We had some of these last week too. Did we have Autumn Leaves? I don't think we had Autumn Leaves. Is it the wrong season for Autumn Leaves? Where are we now? We're in spring, aren't we? And that would be the end of our little roam through the A's. We're into the B's. And tell you what, let's go out of season anyway. Let's have a look at the autumn leaves. I'll play it through instrumentally, and then if I think the key's good, we might even put some words to it. This is a classic old tune, originally written with French words. Dan, could you just maybe get that pedal of mine and push it through? I've got an assistant here, Danny, he's with me, and every now and then my pedal does a bit of a walk, but he's a lot more valuable than that. He does a lot more than just fetch my pedal for me. That's wonderful. Okay, autumn leaves. I like to look at the lyric of a song to get the feel for it. The falling leaves drift by the window. The autumn leaves are red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter's song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. And I like to do it with a little bit of a swing. Falling leaves drift by the window. The autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Now since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear that winter's song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Since you went away, the days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter's song. But I miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. I like that last chord there. It's got a very autumny sound to me. Some of you might know. You might know your major and minor chords. There's a minor chord. I stick a 6 in it just to give it that little edge of wistfulness. Goes well with an autumn song, I think. That was Autumn Leaves, and guess what? That gets us out of the A's. We're into the B's, and the first song, oh well, wouldn't you know it, the first song in the B's is a sing-along. You're going to have to help me on this one because I think it might go a little bit high for my voice, but help me out. The song's called Babyface. I didn't need a shove because I just fell in love with your pretty baby face. Here's a short introduction. baby face. You've got the cutest little baby face. There's not another one could take your place. Baby face. My poor heart is jumping. You sure have started something, baby face. I'm up in heaven when I'm in your fond embrace. Help me now. I didn't need a shove, 'cause I just fell in love with your pretty baby face. The first song in the Bees. Let's do another one out of here, then we'll find something else to play. Looking through some of these titles. Gee, that's an old one. Ball and the Jack, 1913. I make that just before World War One. I reckon that's older than any of us, certainly older than me. I reckon it's older than most of you people out there too. My dad was born in 1907, and I was born when he was 46. So I was a second time around for my dad. My dad's first wife died, that was Janet. And my dad, Eugene, he was a music lover. He worked all his life though, and he was always looking forward to the day when he could stop his. He worked hard. He was a carrier. He used to truck bales of wool all around Sydney and to Darling Harbour, and hides out to the tannery at Botany and all those sorts of things. And he was just waiting for the day when he could just retire and play some music. So he joined a senior citizens group and he took up guitar, and he just loved to play guitar. And he would ring me up back in the days of STD. That's a funny story. And he'd say, what are you doing, Mike? And I'd tell him what I've been doing. I said, what have you been up to, Dad? He'd say, I learnt this song on the guitar at senior citizens this week. Hold on, I'll just go and find it. And he'd put the phone down and he'd wander off for about 5 minutes to find the guitar. And of course this was back in the days of high interest rates, and money was tight and everything else. Back in the late 80s this was. And he'd come back and pick up the phone, and this happened every time. He'd say, you still there? I say, yeah. And then Mum would be in the kitchen and she'd call out, Dad, he's on STD. And he'd pick up the phone and say, will you listen to it? She thinks you're on the bread line. I always remember that line. Anyway, I digress, don't I? I do digress a fair bit, but we've got a bit of time on our hands today. Basin Street Blues, that's in Basin Street, but I always thought that was in New Orleans. I think it is, but I have an idea here. Let's just have a quick stroll through this song from the Bees. Basin Street is the street where the elite always meet. Oh, in New Orleans, land of dreams, you'll never know how nice it seems, or just how much it really means. Glad to be, yes sirree, when welcome's free, dear to me, where I can lose my Basin Street blues. nursery where welcome's free. Dare to me where I can lose Paul's Basin Street blues. Yes. Oh, what year's on that? That's a Spencer Williams composition. He wrote a lot of the songs from back in the 20s and the 30s. And Spencer Williams wrote that one in 1933. 1933. I think we had talkies by then, didn't we? It wasn't all silent films back then. 1933? I think sometime around, and of course it was the Depression years, wasn't it? The Depression started in 1929. That song, Basin Street Blues, Basin Street in New Orleans. I like a lot of the street music that comes out of New Orleans, you know, where the band will go out and they'll set up on a corner. And just outside, and cars and bikes and barrows and everything will be going past. And there'll be, quite often, a cornet, a clarinet, a trombone, banjo, of course, quite often a tuba to give that big bottom end. Boom, 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 boom. A washboard to keep the rhythm going. I love those kind of bands. Alrighty. What's here in the B's? The beer barrel polka. Roll out the barrel. A little bit high for me. Roll out the barrel. I might let the beer barrel polka go for today. And let's find something else from the B's. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking we might get out of the B's. And I'm thinking maybe something Australian that starts with a B. I need to have an Australian song. I'm going to just reach over here for my folder of chestnuts. Why are they chestnuts? Because most people know the songs that I have in this folder here. Let me just put that in front of myself here. And I reckon everybody who grew up in Australia knows this one. All right. Let me play it through first of all without any words. I bet you'll know what it is. Is that ringing bells? Waltz. Can certainly waltz to this. We're bound for Botany Bay. This is a song I think most of you would know it. If you don't know it, gee, it's easy to pick up. It's a song that's got this kind of a waltz time rhythm going in it. You can count three to it. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. I don't see many people doing the waltzes these days, but you know what? I'm prepared to bet the waltz is going to come back. Wouldn't mind betting some of those other old-time dances are going to come back too. The Pride of Erin, that'd be a good one to have coming back. The Foxtrot. And I do like a progressive barn dance. Progressive barn dances, they always start like this, don't they? And then off you go with your partner, and then you swing your partner around, and your partner moves on, and the other person from the circle comes around and you dance with them. You get to dance with everybody. All sizes, all shapes, all ages. That's the great thing about the barn dance. The kids get into it, the oldies get into it, and it's a whole lot of fun. I'm willing to bet the barn dance is going to come back too. Let's sing Botany Bay, and let's see if you can help me out with the words here. So I'm going to try to put the verses in here. It's a terrific old song because it's a song that's sung from the point of view of a convict. It's the convict who's telling the story in this song. And I've got a bit of reflection going on here on my music. Sadly, I've got my music in plastic sleeves and the light's reflecting on it. It's cleared up outside here in Goulburn today. It's cleared up and it's still cloudy, but the rain stopped. Normally I'm doing these Monday morning live streams from my house, where I've got everything set up at home. But last week the electricity company contacted me and said, we're going to turn off your power next Monday to pull down a tree outside your house. I thought, what am I going to do for the live stream? For the Monday Morning Melodies. So I thought, I'll see if I can go into the conservatorium down there on the corner of Burke and Verner Streets. And lo and behold, they had a room for me to come into, and the very wonderful Danae helped get me set up. And I hope you're watching this, and maybe some of you will even know Danae too. She's a Goulburn local. Alrighty, so let's try a little bit of this. Ready to sing Botany Bay? Fare thee well to old England forever. Farewell to my rum coals as well. Farewell to the well-known Old Bailey, where I once used to cut such a swell. Sing this bit. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. For we're bound for Botany Bay. Tain't leaving old England we cares about. Tain't course we misspells what we knows, but because we all like fingered gentry, hops around with a log on our toes. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. For we're bound for Botany Bay. There's the captain, as is our commander. There's the boatswain and all the ship's crew. There's the first and the second class passengers that know what we poor convicts go through. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. For we're bound for Botany Bay. Oh, had I the wings of a turtle dove, I'd soar on my pinions so high, slap bang to the arms of my Polly love, and in her sweet presence I'd die. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. For we're bound for Botany Bay. And then the convict has some advice for anyone listening to the song. Now all my young dookies and duchesses, take warning from what I've to say. Mind all that you own as you touch us, or you'll join us in Botany Bay. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. Singing to-rely-adity. For we're bound for Botany Bay. Or you'll find a song that tells a story. Isn't there a story with that one? Puts you right back there, doesn't it, with the convicts back in England, going before the judge in Old Bailey, and he says, you stole that loaf of bread, off you go to Botany Bay. And then spending 6 months in the hold of an old wooden ship on its way out, coming down around the bottom of South Africa, you know, down there around the Cape and through all those rough waters and storms, and you get to a place called Australia. And what's in Australia? Not very much. Not very much at the time. Australia hadn't been opened up back then, had it? Well, when I say not very much that was useful to the people that arrived. Of course, it was home to the people who were already here. But for someone who'd been brought up in England, it was what we like to call these days a culture shock to end up in Botany Bay on the other side of the world and know that probably you were never going home. It makes it a very bittersweet sort of a song. All right, going to give my voice a rest. I like Scott Joplin. My dad, Eugene, likes Scott Joplin too. It's called The Entertainer. Trio section. Oh, Scott Joplin. With a couple of the extra sections there, what I could remember of it anyway. That's a great old piece of music, isn't it? The Sting. The thing, it's not called The Sting, it's called The Entertainer. And it was used for a movie that had, now let me think, Paul Newman, you remember him? Robert Redford. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead there. It was called The Sting, and it was a movie that came out in the early to mid 70s, I think. And up to that point, Scott Joplin, who'd been incredibly popular back around the turn of the century, he'd been largely overlooked and forgotten. Scott Joplin was a musical genius. He was writing music, and he wrote a lot of terrific ragtime music. Maple Leaf Rag was one of his, and I'm a bit fond of his music, and I'm fond also of his story. I think when people talk about injustice, to me I always think about Scott Joplin. He died a poor man, and he had created so much music that endures. It's more popular now than it ever was when he was alive. A little bit same story with George Gershwin too. George Gershwin was born right at the turn of the century, just at the start of the 20th century, about 1899. And he only lived to be 37 years of age. He died in 1937. And how much incredible music did George Gershwin write? But how much more popular has he been in the years since we lost him? How much more can he have written? I know there's been a lot of great songwriters over the years. There's been Irving Berlin and Harold Arlen and Cole Porter, all these wonderful, terrific songwriters, right up to Lennon and McCartney and beyond, of course. But I always think, George, all those terrific songwriters, they are wonderful, but George was just on another planet, I think. Some of you might even know that terrific piece of classical music that he wrote. It was the first sort of a jazz concerto, when the Paul Whiteman Orchestra premiered it. It was called Rhapsody in Blue. My heavens, that's an amazing piece of music. Okay, am I talking too much again? Let's have a little bit of talking about movie themes. Here's one of my favourites. I guarantee everyone's going to know this. And maybe if you're there with other people, talk about, see if any of you can identify the movie that this particularly beautiful theme comes from. Once again, it's in waltz time. So it's got that 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's got that beautiful 3/4 rhythm going. Okay, I'm giving too much away. picked that one. The theme for a movie called Dr. Zhivago, based on a book by the Russian novelist Boris Pasternak, made into a film by David Lean. And they recruited a composer called Maurice Jarre, Jarre, to write that beautiful theme, and it was a huge hit. I seem to remember a version of that back in the 60s by the Paul Moriat Orchestra. Gee, that's digging back into the memory banks now. So, beautiful theme music, Lara's theme from Dr. Zhivago. Lovely waltz time piece of music that is too. Okay, let's have a look what's in the book here. I don't think we'll go back today to the 1001 book, but we might have a little bit of a look here at another song that I earmarked for this morning. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment out here. Let's have a look and see what I can find there. Okay. Something Latin American. I do like a bit of Latin American rhythm. Michael Bublé had a hit with this one. It's an oldish sort of a song, but he resurrected this one, and he made sure that we didn't forget about this beautiful old song called Sway. When marimba rhythms start to play, dance with me, make me sway, like the lazy ocean hugs the shore. Hold me close, sway me more, like a flower bending in the breeze. Bend with me, sway with me. When we dance, you have a way with me. Stay with me, sway with me. Other dancers may be on the floor, but my eyes will see only you. Only you have that magical touch. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear the sound of violins long before it begins. Make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. Other dancers may be on the floor, dear, but my eyes will see only you. Only you have that magic technique. When we sway, I go weak. I can hear the sound of violins long before it begins. Make me thrill as only you know how. Sway me smooth, sway me now. Sway me smooth, sway me now. Sway with me. And do you see people in your mind, you know, when you close your eyes and you picture something that's happening with the music? You see people doing a tango? I think I do. Something in that rhythm. And I can see the woman, you know, with the rose in the teeth, between the teeth like that, and it's always the sort of image that I get when I hear that song, Sway. Okie doke. How are we going for time? I think we might do one more before we finish up today, folks. I've enjoyed your company this morning. I hope you've enjoyed the trawl through some of the songs from the past. I particularly enjoy playing the songs from the past because they're such wonderful works of art. Yes, I'll say art. They're wonderful works of art, and they're wonderfully enjoyable too. So sometimes you've got to search them out if you want to hear them. You've got to go back to your own record collection, or maybe you've got cassettes or something like that from back in the day. Maybe you've even got some 78 records, you know, those sort of brittle type records that you couldn't bend. And you had to turn the speed on the record player up to 78. And then, of course, they brought in the little singles with just a single song on them. And then they brought in the album. And I think we might end up today with something that moves along a little bit, will we? I think we will. Okay. Here's a song about a road trip to finish us up on. And you can tell it's time for me to finish because I'm getting all tongue-tied. People, thanks for joining us here at Monday Morning Melodies. So on behalf of the Hume Conservatorium, who helped to produce and distribute this out to where you are, I'm going to say thank you for that, and I look forward to seeing you again. We're here every Monday at 10:30 in the morning. Hope it's a good time for you. But if you ever find yourself, oh gee, I missed that this morning, I forgot all about it and I was going to watch it, you can still go back. Wherever you're watching this now on Facebook, you can come back here. And if you're trying to find us, all you've got to do is type in Monday Morning Melodies. You know, you get a little search box in Facebook and that'll bring you here. Failing that, actually, you could probably even type in Hume Conservatorium. It's a bit of a challenge, that isn't a conservatorium. A few two syllables for so early on a Monday morning. But you get the drift. That's how you can find us. Alrighty, we're going on a road trip to finish. Not like that, we're not. How about I start it this way? Travel my way, it's the highway that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. You get your kicks on Route 66. Well, you go through Missouri, Oklahoma City is mighty pretty, you'll see. Amarillo and Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona or Kingman or Barstow, San Bernardino. You get hip to this timely tip when you take that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. One for the piano player. Missouri, Oklahoma City is mighty pretty, you'll see. Amarillo and Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Sydney, Barstow, San Bernardino. You get hip to this timely tip when you take that California trip. You get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Thanks everybody. See you next week. Bye.